These are the first 5 mods you should do to your 5.7 Hemi Ram if you just got yourself a brand new truck. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Good afternoon. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I want to share with you guys what are the first 5 mods to do to a Ram 1500, a stock Ram 1500. In my personal opinion, it's in these 5 order right here I'm gonna give you guys. These are the first 5 things I would do right away to gain power, to change up the looks, and pretty much those are the 2 main things, honestly. Before we get into that, I want to say I appreciate the support on the channel. Getting closer to my goal is to hit 10K on this channel, so appreciate the support, those who are subscribed to the channel. And those who are not subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, help support the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. If you're into modifying your cars, truck, whatever this and that, then you're on the right channel. I'm gonna be modifying this truck. Well, currently am now, but I'm on a pause with it. But I'm gonna start buying some stuff this month again for this Ram to try to change up some things, because the biggest mod that we are gonna be preparing for in 2026 for this truck is to do a 5.7 swap over to 6.4 Hemi, and that's like the biggest thing right now, honestly. Is it's gonna change up a whole lot with this truck. It's gonna, I'm saying, performance, looks, this thing gonna be a completely different animal. Right now it has the 5.7. Give you guys a little bit more information if you're on the channel for your first time. The truck is a used truck that I bought about a year, going on 2 years ago, and right now I'm at 151 on the dash. Pretty much run and drive smooth, barely have any issues. It's my daily driver, but we got to be turning this truck into a race machine and a daily driver still. So you guys definitely want to stick around for that. But what is the first 5 mods that you got to do to these trucks? If you got a Ram 1500, what is the first 5 things? If you're thinking about doing modification, what is the first 5 thing I would say that you need to be doing if you got one of these trucks? First 5. Number 1, I would start off with your air intake system, your core air intake. I mean your stock air intake. You gotta get yourself an aftermarket air intake. Why? Because you want your truck to be able to breathe, you know, some good air as good as possible, and you don't want to be holding, you know, a little bit of mods. Like when you add a aftermarket core intake to your truck, you don't gain crazy amount of power, but you gain somewhere around 5 to 10 horsepower. You're gonna also be freeing up some horsepower that's being, you know, that's on your truck. And if you guys ever see how the stock core air intake is, if you look at it, it's super restrictive, and that thing suck up a lot of dirt. Even though it look kind of fancy looking, this and that, but it's not the best for you to have on your truck. That's where most people, you know, tend to start from anyway, with car, truck. I would really just say, just start off with an aftermarket core intake of your choice. As long as you're not running like the cheap eBay core intake, the metal cons and stuff like that, then you should be fine. Just pay a little bit. Doing something like this, I recommend just pay a little bit more money to get yourself a good aftermarket core intake. Like the one I have on my truck, it's pretty much a good aftermarket core intake. I think it's also washable, and I paid somewhere around like close to $400 for it, which is not bad. It is Air Raid, that's the brand name, so if you guys want to get the same thing, be my guest. But the next thing on the list I would say that you should do is, you gotta go, this one I'm gonna have to go with exhaust system. Exhaust is definitely something that's very, very important, because not just for sound wise, but it's proven like these Ram 1500s, they run a whole lot better, like the Hemi in general, run and perform a whole lot better when it have some kind of aftermarket free flow exhaust system on there. I know exhaust is pretty much expensive, but what I could tell you guys, man, like just by experience of things that, me modifying cars in the past, where I went the cheap route, and I experienced certain things and stuff like that. All I could tell you is you could always do a muffler delete, and then later on down the line, get yourself a good exhaust system, good sounding exhaust system. Definitely gonna be worth the money. I know it's like 1,500 to almost like some like $2,000, depending, for exhaust system. But what I could tell you, it's worth it 100%. If you if you have the money, you don't have the money, this and that, I would tell you definitely should buy it, because it's definitely worth it. That would be my second thing. My third thing would have to be, now this one, I would say, depending on if you are gonna be lifting your truck, most of the time, like I say, most of the time, whenever I see these trucks out in public, driving around somewhere on the road, 9 times out of 10, the best thing that most people, 90% of people mainly do, is to put them on a lift. Get a lift. They put them on a lift. I'm not saying get a lift, but I would say wheels and tires is another thing too that change up the look on your truck. That's something that's like that's like top 5 thing. Most people do that for, like, tend to do that right away, where is depending too on how big you want to go. Sometimes I know you could fit certain amount of tires on these truck when they, at the stock height, with probably like a level 1 kit or something like that. But wheels and tires too is something that's definitely very, very important. And also finding the right wheels and tire setup. Don't be like one of them guys where you running some, real small looking wheels and tires size where your truck is lifted up. You can see all that gap. To me, it's kind of odd, but at the end of the day, some people like that. But I would say finding a good wheels and tire setup is definitely something important. My next one, number 4, is gonna have to be, you guys know I had to bring this up. It's gonna have to be long tube headers. Long tube headers is king. I ain't gonna lie, it's king, because very, very crucial. Because especially if you plan on getting, most of the time when you do exhaust system, you're not gonna be satisfied with just like the exhaust and the stock manifold that's on there. It's not gonna give you like that sound, like that real deep sound you want. So most of the time, people end up buying like the long tube headers to go with it. Long tube headers. Now I know long tube headers is another thing that's very expensive, but what I could say is long tube headers is definitely something that's also very important for your vehicle, especially these trucks. Like, you guys see how the stock exhaust manifold is, they kind of very restrictive looking. I don't know what Ram was thinking, and they decided to put that on these trucks, but it give you like it just tell you, when you see how they look and how poorly it's set up, like it's just not the right thing to be on this truck. So you want to make sure you go get yourself a long tube header. Depending on what brand you go with, that's up to you. But I always state this: if you're gonna buy parts for your car, you gotta treat it like you gotta get the high-end stuff. I'm not saying go out there, spend like $1 million on some car parts and stuff. You gotta do it. But if you could save yourself money and buy the parts, that's better, because quality does matter. I'm telling you guys, this is something that's a long-term, like headers, exhaust, is stuff that's gonna be on your vehicle for quite some time. So you don't want to go like trying to cheap out, because it's going to cost you money later on. And then also another thing, you have to get headers anyway, headers for these trucks, because like the stock, another thing to think about, the stock manifold that's on here, they have like them bolt issue where over time, this is what a lot of people tend to say happen. I think, I believe, I mean, I wouldn't say I think, but it definitely does happen to the majority of these Rams. It's just how they built them, and sometimes they will break off or something like that, to where once they break off, you might as well replace it with a get yourself a long tube headers. So long tube headers be my fourth thing. Fifth thing is gonna be, last but not least, this is something I'm about to get for my truck also. I would recommend you, even if you have a stock truck or just have like minimum, just a headers on there, get yourself a custom tune. Find a place somewhere that has good reviews. Get yourself, speak to somebody who knows about Ram and Mopar. They will guide you into finding like getting you the right tune, custom tune for your truck, where it could be as efficient as possible to you making some real high-end good power. Like tune, like I ain't gonna lie to you guys, man. Once I place this order for the custom tune I'm supposed to be getting within the next couple of weeks, once it come in, I can't wait to actually make a video on it, because I really want to be able to show you guys like how important it is, how a stock vehicle like this, right, with just simple stuff on there, like bolt-on stuff, can really make a good amount of power. I wouldn't say anything crazy, but it change up the vehicle so much. I'm telling you guys, it make a huge difference though. But those are the 5 things, 5 mods I feel like is definitely very, very important to do. You have one of these trucks. If you're thinking about modifying your truck, stop thinking, do it. Save up the money. If you got the money, spend the money on the mods and stuff. All of this stuff gonna be worth it anyway, because you know me, I like modifying anything I drive. But enough of that. If you guys, I'll tell you guys one more time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and definitely help support the channel and hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.